Welcome back, guys, to more creepy TikToks, and let's dive in.
Know why people have sleep paralysis? It's when you wake up and can't move or speak and feel a pressure on your chest. This happens when you become aware during the transition in and out of REM sleep. The brain stops your muscles from moving to prevent you from acting out dreams. It's harmless but can be scary. It's usually associated with irregular sleeping cycles, narcolepsy, anxiety disorders, and stress disorders.
I believe it could be any of those factors, but I also believe that it could be some form of a spiritual attack. I definitely believe in that. I used to suffer from sleep paralysis years ago, back in my late teens, early 20s, and honestly, one of the scariest things to experience. You know, there's definitely some form of a demonic presence there.
The same people that forced you to get vaccinated to keep your job then let in 10 million people who were unvaccinated and unemployed.
That honestly doesn't make any sense at all, does it? You know, you've had to be threatened to get the injectorino, and if you weren't, you're going to be unemployed. Yet you've got people by the masses coming over here who aren't injectorinoed, and you know they're not working in the slightest. So makes perfect sense. Not really, like. Is it possible that UAE could have done this to their own people? Like, maybe not purposely, but by mistake, you know, by accident? Because they're all into that cloud seeding malarkey, so it's a possibility. But here, being a window cleaner and being that high up in a building and smashing at the side of it must be one of the scariest things I've ever experienced, though.
Resplandeciente, ¿eh? Como decíamos antes, mujer vestida de sol y con una maestría.
But what is going on here with all this like paganism or this idolatry? I don't even know what it is, but like people are going crazy about the statue, and then that guy just dropping that child off like, here, I'll see you when you're 18. I mean, what is that all about? Like. It couldn't be any more obvious what they're trying to do here. They're obviously trying to train them while they're young. I mean, that clip I showed in the last show with Call of Duty over in America, that is essentially the equivalent for China.
I can't stop watching this video of Zuck trying to be a normal human. It's impossible for him. He doesn't know what to do with his hands. The brain, his computer, it breaks. For those of you confused, Alexander Volkanovski last night fought at UFC 298, and he had Mark Zuckerberg walk him out and be in his coaching corner. While Volk was taking off his clothes that he walked to the ring with, Zuck didn't know what to do with his hands. Look, he literally puts up his hands like, I don't know what to do with these. And then look, he's like, well, there you go. There, that's the way to help, Zuck. That's how you pass this shirt over. He's like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to, my hands? What am I supposed to do with them? There's a shirt. Grab it. Human. Yep, that's what humans do. This man is not, like, they keep saying AI is going to take over. Look at an AI trying to be human. Look at this. There you go. Good pass, Zuck. If you're wondering why Zuck was in the corner of Alexander Volkanovski, Zuck has taken a big liking to MMA. He's been training in and whatnot, and he trained with these two UFC champions. Well, they were champions when they trained, and since then, both these guys have lost. This guy's been knocked out twice, Alexander Volkanovski, and then this guy lost as one of the biggest favorites in a championship fight ever. And Zuck is the only common denominator in this photo. Oh, Zuck tore his ACL too. There may be a Zuckerberg curse.
I'm all for having to go at Mark Zuckerberg, but I have to say in this one, I kind of actually feel sorry for the wee reptilian, to be honest, you know. He's probably got like social anxiety. I did look it up there like a few seconds ago, and apparently he has like a form of autism. So maybe that goes hand in hand with like social anxiety. I don't know, but thought I never said, but I do feel sorry for the wee reptilian. Like, something's not adding up and something doesn't make sense. You know, how can you have the first 2 years of an event be extremely busy but still have time to use and do some choreography, have some dancing in hallways and make those places look extremely quiet, dancing on rooftops, whatever have you, and then 2 years after that be flat out all the time to the point where all of a sudden you don't have time for choreography or any dances? I don't think I've seen any new ones in the past year and a half, 2 years. So should it not be vice versa, you know?
Hello.
Hi.
Who are you guys with?
Cronkite News.
Who?
Cronkite News.
Cronkite?
Cronkite.
Cronkite. I never heard of it. But I have a question. How come you guys are wearing masks outside? What's the reason for that?
Cronkite News is so good they can't even tell us the news about why they're wearing masks. But yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, I felt awkward. I felt like I was actually in the video with them. It was that bad. I mean, the sound was deafening. It really was.
And so whenever I'd be getting on a ride that I was going to be programmed on, they would separate cars. So my brother and sister, for example, would get on and then they would go. And then they'd move a couple cars past. And then they'd put me and my father, or me and my father and my younger brother on the car. And then we would go. And so they create a distance from you, from the other people riding the ride, breakdown. You'd be taken under the park. You'd be put through this programming. And then you'd be hit with a taser. That's one of the common ways of compartmentalizing your memory, is a handheld taser. I can remember getting hit with that damn thing from the time I was 6 years old. And then you'd also be hypnotized. Hypnosis is a big part of it. They'll hypnotize you to remember to forget those events, and then hit you with a taser and then send you back up. Hey,
I truly despise Disney. I really, really do. And the amount of therapy that that man would have had to go through to recall back all that memory would be staggering. But at the same time, it's no surprise when it comes to Disney. I mean, a simple Google search would show you that children go missing every single year in Disneyland. But they're one of the most evil corporations there is.
Elon Musk is creepy, so he confirms that he's uploaded his consciousness to the cloud and had a conversation with himself. And we all remember when he put Neuralink in the monkey brain and had him playing Pong, but look at this. Now he's tested his first human subject with Neuralink. And I seen something about Greek gematria that I had to check out myself. So I did it. I typed Neuralink in the Greek gematria calculator, and look what I found. Look at all these. We've got the great beast, Muhammad, and last but not least, Titan, and the number of Antichrist. And then look at all these. All the way across the board. There's a lot of speculation that he might be involved with the Antichrist, but look at this. So if he's uploading his consciousness to the cloud and having conversations with it, does that make you kind of freaked out about what AI could possibly be? What if AI is a bunch of human test subjects and they just upload all their consciousnesses to the cloud, mix them all together, maybe erase some of their memory, and then now they are the artificial intelligence that we talk to? Weird.
What's your thoughts on this, and what's your thoughts on Elon Musk? I mean, do you think he's part of the beast system? Do you think AI is part of the beast system? You know, the Neuralink, do you think that's going to be implanted in every single one of us, and that's how the dominance and control is going to be over us, to the point where we won't actually be able to control our movements or our limbs in any way? I don't know. If you're enjoying the content so far and you're looking forward to the next episode, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, and if you'd like the channel to grow, go ahead and smash that like button as well. Thank you.
The entire neighborhood without electricity. ATMs are offline. I have my money stuck on this machine over here. It just turned off. The entire neighborhood without electricity. That is what it feels, a black swan event happening in Greece right now. Even the traffic lights are off. The entire neighborhood near to Athens city center. My money is stuck inside this machine over here. That's wild. Black swan event incoming. We will find out shortly. But that is what it actually feels like. I just made a deposit and it's all gone inside the machine.
You see, this is one of the problems about the whole Go Cashless Society agenda. I mean, hypothetically speaking, if we went all digitized, you know, literally just a credit card or your biometrics to make purchases, like if the grid ever went down and we were offline, there's no way we could make any purchases. There'd be no money in circulation, there'd be nothing in circulation to make purchases, and soon enough we'll all be without food, without water, no bills to be paid. I mean, the only ones who would have control over us would be, you know, the elites. And if you think about it, that would be the perfect scenario for them for control.
And we are at Subway. Don't stop at Subway. You come to Subway, what does it say?
1. Certain foods and beverages sold and served here can expose you to chemicals including acrylamide, and many are fried or baked foods, and mercury in fish, which are known to the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects and other reproductive harm.
We would very rarely eat at a Subway, to be honest with you, because of the stories you hear about how the bread's made. But do you guys remember the study that was conducted about the tuna fish a few years back? They took it back to a lab, conducted a study, and found that the actual fish, the actual tuna, there was no tuna at all, or very little percentage of the tuna. But yeah, I mean, they call themselves healthy, you know.
What did you ever believe that you would be a big success?
Honestly, I just dressed like Peter Griffin at Comic-Con like 11 years ago with my friends and decided to have fun, and then it turned into this whole career thing. And the shout out of Family Guy, I didn't believe people at first. I was like, they did not shout me out on Family Guy. And then people were sending me the clips. I'm like, holy shit, they really did? So it's been quite a trip. I enjoy it tremendously. I like making people laugh and making them happy and kind of empath, that kind of stuff. So
he's got that voice down to a T. I mean, I would love to meet this Peter Griffin fella. I reckon he'd be some crack, like.
Look at this, folks. Watch. Nothing. Not a thing. Not a thing, you can't see it with the naked eye. Look at this. What's the night light? Don't see it. LED torch. You see it. That's what it's falling down for the skies. Check it out. This is what you're breathing in.
What's your thoughts on this, guys? I mean, would you say this is just fog, drizzle of rain? Would you say it's dust from the gravel he's walking on? Or would you say it's like nanotech coming from the chemtrails? What's your honest opinion on this, guys? Let me know in the comments, because I'm really interested to know. But yeah, over to you, John, and Cronkite News. I mean, is this the reason why you're wearing masks?
What's the reason for that?
What game is Rockstar famous for making? San Andreas. Now, after you figure out what game Rockstar made, I want you to think about what movie The Rock starred in. Well, would you look at there? Rockstar San Andreas. Now, I wonder if that's just a coincidence. Now, if Rockstar gave us San Andreas and The Rock starred in San Andreas, whose fault is it? Well, if you've been paying attention, it's San Andreas' fault. And if you look here, you'll see that it's cracking. It's breaking. And pay attention, this is Santos Flores. And where was Los Santos at? That's right, San Andreas by Rockstar. Do y'all see how intricately they have put this together? It's been on our face the entire time. They have shown it to us, and we haven't caught it. Well, that's at least up until now. Somebody was thinking when they did this.
It might not even be coinkydink, and he has a few plausible reasons there to be sus about it. So, but we all know when it comes to predictive programming, and when it comes to San Andreas, it's not the first show or the first movie that's, you know, depicted the events of what will happen there. So, yeah, every reason to be sus. I remember watching this years ago on the Scariest Movie Ever Made channel by KJ Osborne, and honestly, watching it now, there's something that disturbs my soul about it. There's like a real darkness about it. But those portals and that kind of dance, I mean, you know, if it's performing arts, why does it have to be creepy? Like, why does it have to be dark and kind of ritualistic? There's other methods and other ways of, you know, showing true art. That's definitely not one of them. Like,
here's what AI thinks kids looked like in the early 1800s, early 1900s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, 2000s. And here's where things begin to go downhill rapidly. 2010, 2020. Somebody make it stop. We can't go down this road anymore. This is insanity. I will be long gone before we get here, hopefully. I just think we're at a fork in the road and we can't keep going down the road we've been on. Go outside, put down the devices. This is crazy. We don't want Skynet to become a reality. This is not normal. This is not what life is supposed to be like. Let's get out of upside down land right now.
What's disturbing about these AI generated images is you could see the happiness, the communication, the joy in like the wee ones' faces. And as the years go on and then it goes into 2010, it's like the seclusion, you know, the isolation from each other, the lack of communication. But honestly, like, our childhoods, we were lucky. We all had a great childhood, you know, being out in bikes, you know, going out until like the street light went on and then heading back home after, you know, asking if you could stay out a bit longer, you know, coming home, doing your homework and just rushing your homework so you can get back out again and play with your mates and play things like 40-40 and hopscotch and you know, play Kirby, you know, where you have the ball and you're hitting the curb. So those are all good days, like, but nowadays all the wee ones, they don't know what that is anymore. They don't know the joy of it. You'd be lucky if they even know how to complete a puzzle. But it's really important that if you do have a wee one, you know, restrict the time that they have when they're using like tablets or phones or TV or whatever it may be, you know. But it's a sad time for we young ones, it really is.
So what do I mean by the secret spells of the English language? Well, let me share with you what I call our premier life sentence. And it goes something like this. We awake each morning and go off during the weekdays to earn the living at various jobs and undertakings until we come to the weekend. And this seems perfectly acceptable to most people. However, more people die between 6 and 9 on a Monday morning than any other time of the week. So I do what I call a translation of the English language, and I spell that Trance, with the idea that words cast spells. So when you translate that life sentence, you remember that awake is a funeral party for the dead. Mourning is the state you're in when you attend a wake. And you would have to be in a weekdays to earn the living, since urns are for the ashes of the dead. We call our jobs undertakings. Job itself is a Hebrew word for persecuted. And what we get at the end of this perverse bargain with life is the weak end of the deal as we become progressively weakened ourselves. And so our most prevalent greeting to each other is hello, the reverse of which is, oh hell.
Everything she said there made perfect sense, to be honest. And when you think back at the experiment that we went through as it progressed, we could see how that was, you know, how the power of words was really affecting the experiment and the outcome of it.
Aynen. Yani bu garanti yani. Abi iki kamyon arkasındaki neydi ismi, görüntü. Adamı görüyoruz yani, görüyoruz yani. Tam altında kalıp kalmadığını görmüyoruz ama nerede şey yaptığını görüyoruz. Nerede bulunduğunu görüyoruz. Ya şöyle bayağı oradan bayağı gitmemiz gerekiyor. Abi şöyle. Aynen.
That was a crazy landslide. Like, I hope everyone's okay. But there seems to be quite a lot of these landslides lately, you know?
Check this out. This is insane.
I hadn't tapped it, I hadn't inserted it, I hadn't swiped it, and then all of a sudden, out comes the receipt. And I said, how did this get paid for?
The cashier couldn't explain it.
She stood there literally just sort of blank. I really thought that the guy ahead of me, that he had been charged. I said, somebody paid for this on a credit card somewhere.
Turns out the tap-to-pay card reader at Safeway had ignored the debit card in Edgar's hand. Instead, it reached into Edgar's back pocket,
Oh, that's
threw
crazy.
his wallet, and charged his Bank of America credit card tucked inside.
That's
a
insane.
pretty big reach. I mean, around me or through me to my wallet. Why didn't it grab the card that was near it? How did it decide what to grab?
I was shocked. I was like, well, it can't be.
Sonia Cesare says it happened at a doctor's office.
I went to pay and they said, you're already paid. And I said, I haven't inserted my card. I haven't even taken it out of my wallet.
Turns out the card reader there had sent radio waves into her purse and charged her credit card without her knowing it. And that wasn't all. Sonia got an even bigger surprise at a little shop.
The woman said, oh my, it's just read 3 cards.
The store's tap-to-pay system charged not only 1, but 3 credit cards tucked in a wallet inside her purse.
I'd say I was 2 feet away at that point, for sure.
All charges were reversed, but it was troubling. I love it. Technology, huh?
Imagine you go out one day, you go to get your food shopping for the week, and then it comes like £140, and then like you get home and find out like 2 or 3 of your cards have been charged £140 each. Like, you go mad, wouldn't you? Like, but the question you have to ask yourself here is, why have they set the frequency so high to allow, you know, tap? Makes no sense to me. Like,
Thing is huge.
How did you get in here?
It happened.
My fault, my bad, my bad. Your girl got wet. She likes my sweat. Please don't be mad. She gets into my bed. It's real life, I bet. Not happy, not sad. Came here step by step.
So apparently, our daughter Kaliska went to put her shoe on today, and it didn't feel right. And she took her foot out in a hurry. Now, what I'm going to do is show you why. Very stubborn. Oh, you can see some feet. There you go. That is why Kaliska was not happy about what was in her shoe. And it's gone. We let it go. We don't care.
you lovely guys over in Australia, I mean, fair play to you, but how do you do it? Like, how do you live with these base type of things? Do you know what I mean? Like, I can deal with a wee smalls better, maybe, you know, a big house better, but those things, they're massive. Like, they'd eat you. They would eat you for breakfast, those things.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate,
has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and little children. Victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
For me personally, this is one of the greatest, most true and beautiful speeches you'll ever hear. And I thought I'd go ahead and look for this clip and then add it towards the end of the show for you guys, because it's something that is profound and it's something that is very relatable in today's society and today's world. But listen guys, if you enjoyed the creepy content, go ahead and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next video. And if you want to help get this channel out and get this channel to grow, smash that like button as well guys. I would really be appreciative of it. But until the next video, please go ahead, look after yourselves, stay strong, stay safe, and I'll see you then.